cost of living in the Philippines? Can you afford it? We're picking up where we left off the last time. So stick around. Welcome back. Another episode of USA to Philippines Life Channel with your host, me, Mike. And we are picking up where we left off. Transportation costs in the Philippines. Now, the Philippines has a reasonably advanced transportation system that consists of an extensive road network, dozens of airports, rail lines, and various watercraft. That's true. Man, the ferry system there is pretty amazing. From what I'm told, you can pretty much take if you own a vehicle, you can pretty much get from island to island via these ferry systems. And I think you've seen that in some of the other vloggers that are over there that do that. It kind of looks pretty cool. The types of transport you use will vary based on where you decide to live. You can rely on public transport, and that's true. Iloilo City, where we are based out of when we're in the Philippines and will eventually live, is pretty easy to get around there. I'm not a fan of the jeepneys. I have used them with my wife. My wife, obviously Filipina, it's commonplace for her. I have no problem using them. For me, I just prefer to take a cab, or once I'm there, debating on purchasing a vehicle, which we're going to get into a little of that here too. So let's look at purchasing a vehicle in the Philippines. Another debated topic. Should you expats drive in the Philippines? A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. Both sides present very valid arguments for or against driving. I'm up in the air about it because, to be honest with you, as much as I love my current vehicle, I really do. It's a wonderful truck. I got a 2020 Ram 1500. I've mentioned it before. It's a wonderful vehicle, and I like it very much. I'm going to miss. That I will definitely miss that truck. But thinking ahead to when I lived there, the idea of purchasing a mid-size pickup, diesel powered, of course. There are gas vehicles there, but from what I've seen, diesel is the fuel of choice when you're there in the Philippines. So I'm up in the air about it. I really don't like to drive. I should take that back. I enjoy driving. I don't like driving around here. And I don't know how well I'll adapt to driving in the Philippines. It's a whole nother style of driving there. I noticed the horn is used in a completely different way there than it's used here. In the Philippines, the horn is more like a courtesy, like an advisory. Hey, beep, beep, I'm going around you. Here, it's to yell at people. You beep the horn, beep, and flip them the bird. That's, how nice we are, how we treat each other around here. And again, I may hear in the comments, well, you live around New York City, what do you expect? Yeah, that's true. But nevertheless, that's where I am. That's what I deal with every day. And it's just left me in a state where I don't know when I get to the Philippines if I'm just going to want to just sit back and be driven around. I know another vlogger says that he has a car and driver that he calls, pays when he wants to travel somewhere. I kind of like that idea. That sounds pretty good to me, but my wife seems pretty bent on having a vehicle there. She does not drive here, as you've seen in our previous video where she discusses why she doesn't drive, but she's really bent on getting it there, and she wants to drive there, and I'm all for that. I think her driving there makes more sense, and maybe I'll become the passenger there. But yeah, I'm getting into this a little more, but it is a very important topic. And if you're not there yet, retired, I'm sure it's crossed your mind if you're heading there. Some of you in the comments have said you're waiting to get over there. Maybe some of you have thought about that, maybe you haven't. But it's definitely something that I think about. So purchasing a vehicle in the Philippines, buying a new modern car, can be slightly more expensive in the Philippines compared to the United States. However, it depends on the model you choose. Well, it's the same thing here. As there are now an influx of cheaper Chinese vehicles available, you could expect to pay about $27,000 for a Volkswagen Golf or $23,000 USD for a Toyota Corolla. In terms of second-hand vehicles, you can pay about $5,800 USD for a 2011 Mazda CX-7 or $6,200 for a 2013 Lexus LS460. I've seen some other vloggers that purchase vehicles there, slightly used. One in particular that comes to mind, they bought a slightly used truck. It was very nice. I believe it was maybe maybe about a year old, but it's a very nice truck. That's more my speed than these other models here. Mid-size truck, of course, not a full size, but that's what I'm thinking. Cost of getting around the Philippines using public transportation: a one-way local bus ticket, this article is saying 10 pesos. It's about 21 cents US. Monthly pass for a local bus, 520 pesos. It's about $10.60 US. Taxi, normal tariff, 40 pesos, about 80 cents. And it goes on and on and on. And if you've been to the Philippines, you have an idea. And of course, you've all had the warning in the city areas to be careful if they don't turn the meter on and whatnot. We have not experienced that, and I think when I was there the first time, the whole app thing, the Grab thing, really wasn't a thing. In fact, I believe Uber was there then in some spots, but then Uber ended up getting out of there, and Grab took its place, which seems to be very widespread there, and that seems to be like in fact, I'm going to install it, the app, the Grab app, and get that going before I head back. Alright, well, there you have it with the transportation, and that's definitely an important issue. Again, Retirepedia, the link will be in the description. It's a very lengthy article, chock full of good examples and information. I recommend checking it out. On the next video, we're going to get into the cost of housing and utilities as per Retirepedia's cost of living in the Philippines. Can you afford it? So we thank you for checking out the video. If you like it, please do give it a like. Please check out our other videos. If you like those, give those a like as well. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have, huge thank you to everybody. We've been blown away by the growth of the channel in a short period of time. So with that, as we always like to say, wherever you are in the world, stay well, stay safe, stay blessed. We will see you next time with another video. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.